OMG. I haven't done one of these lives in a long time. Welcome. How long has it been? My goodness. It's been so long that there's like only two of you here. It's crazy. But that's okay. I don't mind talking to two Bitcoiners or two curious, maybe would-be Bitcoiners. I don't care. Or two Bitcoin haters. I don't care. A follower of mine motivated this. The Bitcoin bear market, if we can call it this, what we're experiencing right now, the Bitcoin bear market has gotten to the point where it has begun to fry the minds of even sound Bitcoiners or sound Bitcoiners prior to the bear market. And I've seen this happen living through two Bitcoin bear markets now, or Bitcoin major pullbacks in the USD denominated price. Again, someone might have an issue with this being labeled a bear market, but you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about a prolonged period where Bitcoin has dropped significantly from its last peak and has remained there for some time. So whatever you want to call that. I've watched in two other occasions, this is the third time I'm experiencing this, that scenario, which I'm going to call a bear market, eventually starts reaching the stage where it starts to actually deteriorate the Bitcoin-ness of even Bitcoiners. And this is the third time I'm seeing this phenomena, if you will, and it could not have been, in my opinion, more succinctly communicated than, a recent comment that I responded to, where this individual, whom I consider to be a really sound Bitcoiner, is really kind of pointing his disappointment, I think, with the Bitcoin price at Strategy and Saylor in particular, calling the Strategy approach to Bitcoin retarded and calling Saylor the worst thing that to ever happen to Bitcoin. This is absolutely asinine, in my opinion. It, to me, is a very glaring sign that even Bitcoiners are being warped in their mind and can't think straight, largely because their whole identity and what they feel and think is so inextricably intertwined with the USD denominated price of Bitcoin, which really is not Bitcoin at all. TikTok next block is what Bitcoin is. It is not a USD denominated price. But this disconnect I've seen happen for 3 times now. This is the third time I'm starting to see these things occur. And what's interesting is that when you start to lose real Bitcoiners in terms of their level of IQ and their positive takes turn to negative takes, when you start to lose good Bitcoiners, you're really at or very close to the end. They're the last ones to go. They're the last ones to drop below IQ 50s. They're the last ones to be taken out. And when you start to see that, you have to know that you're either at the low or very, very close to the low. So let me take issue with this. And guys, you can basically just take a look at my recent replies, just click replies in my profile, and you'll see a back and forth that's basically gone on with one of my followers. And again, I will say this for the record. I like this follower. I think he's a good Bitcoiner. But I do not like this take. And whenever I see takes like this, I don't always respond. You can't respond to every take that you consider to be way off. But there are some takes that go so far and over the line, in my opinion, that I just feel compelled to step up to the plate and say something. And this was one of them. Let me just address this directly. I'll be glad to sort of respond to anyone who has any rebuttal to what I'm going to say, a different opinion, or whether you agree with me or what have you, but I'm interested to know. Strategy is being looked at as being something bad for Bitcoin. Saylor is being looked at as by some as being not a good character in the space, but characterized as being the worst thing that ever happened to Bitcoin. How can anyone come up with this view? All right, first of all, let's go to first principles, and let's just go to basics, because basics have been lost here, and first principles have been thrown out of the window. Okay, first of all, Bitcoin is for everyone. It is for the people that you like. Bitcoin is for the people that you don't like. Bitcoin is for your friends. Bitcoin is for your enemies. Bitcoin is for people you despise. Bitcoin is for people that you agree with. It is for people that you don't agree with. And every single person, every single country, every single company, every single entity, every single group on planet Earth they have full rights to do whatever they feel is appropriate with Bitcoin. That is, whether they want to buy it and hold it, whether they want to buy it and spend it, whether they want to sell it, whether they want to short it. It does not matter. It is neutral money, and it is for everyone. And when we start getting so almighty and righteous to be able to dictate whether someone's use of Bitcoin is more righteous than another use of Bitcoin, and someone else should not use Bitcoin because I don't agree with it, that is setting yourself up as God. And I think that is stupid. I think that is dumb. I think that's the height of retardation, because it goes against the entire ethos of what Bitcoin is. Use Bitcoin however you deem fit for you, your company, your life. That is what it's for. And to say that Saylor or Saylor's company strategy is bad for Bitcoin because they have decided to buy Bitcoin for their treasury and hold it, and that's retarded, and that's bad for Bitcoin? How? In what world is it bad for Bitcoin if a company decides that I am going to buy Bitcoin and hold it? Like, tell me, am I the wrong one here? I'm the one who's gone off its rocker to basically am I wrong by saying, oh, wait a minute, strategy's not wrong for buying Bitcoin? I'm the wrong one? How? How is a company buying Bitcoin and holding it bad? In what world will a true Bitcoiner reach that point to say that, unless their brain has been fried by the USD denominated price of Bitcoin? How? Tell me. Someone please tell me this. We're at the point now where buyers of Bitcoin are bad for Bitcoin. Hodlers of Bitcoin are bad for Bitcoin. That's where we've gotten now, because we've fallen from 126 to 67,000. That's where we've come to. Guys, I know I left X a while ago, but damn, is this where X has gotten to since I've left? This is stupid to me. It is the height of dumb. It's the pinnacle of retardation. We're vilifying companies that buy Bitcoin now. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. It's almost like, is there even a freaking response to this? Tell me. We're not talking about companies that buy it and then short the hell out of it and try to kill the price. We're talking about companies that have a one-way entrance and no exit. The ultimate in terms of a hodler, never sold a single Satoshi, never tried to crush the price, only tried to bring awareness in every aspect of the business world to how Bitcoin can revolutionize not only your company, but your life. We're talking about a company that took a that was less than $1 billion in valuation for over a decade or two and turned it into a $42 billion company. That is a 42x, a 42x. Do you know what percentage that is? From 1 billion to 42 billion. And that 42 billion is after a 72% drop. That's after a 72% drop. You have a 42x, and we're calling that a failure? We're calling that bad, a company that demonstrates that I created a 42x for my shareholders. I created a 42x success story solely because of Bitcoin, but now it is being labeled as bad for Bitcoin. And the worst thing to happen for Bitcoin? Get the fuck out of here. If that's being right, I just want to be wrong. That's just absolutely stupid. And anyone who buys into that nonsense has an IQ less than 50. I guarantee you. It's dumb. It's dumb. But I have seen this level of dumbness emerge even amongst the good Bitcoiners. I've seen it. This is the third time I'm starting to see it. And every single time I get shocked by a heretofore solid Bitcoiner starting to get stupid like this. I know we're close to the bottom, if not at the bottom. It has happened every single freaking time. Every single time. I just wanted to come out. I just wanted to quickly come out because I just got tired of typing and just put my thoughts in voice form like this because, guys, we can't allow the US dollar to flip us like this, to pimp us out like this. The US dollar should not be what turns you. Do you understand? You can't let the US dollar, a failing fiat currency, all currencies are failing. Granted, the US dollar is failing the slowest, but they're all failing. You can't allow a failing system to be the dictator of how you feel and how you think about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has never, for the last 16 years, it has never been sick at sea. It has never missed a beat. It has never faltered, never failed you, never broken a promise, never missed a block, never changed its rules, never lied to you, never reneged on what it said from day one, never inflated, never flip-flopped, stayed the same. Tick-tock, next block. And you allow something else to tell you how to feel about that. The dollar. The failing item. You place more faith in the failing item and believe what the failing item says about it than what the thing says about itself. Bitcoin has honor, dignity. It has decency, fairness. It is available to all. It has never faltered, never failed you once. The only thing that's failed you is what you are forced to give your life to, the US dollar. You have no choice. You have been forced to wake up every single day and give everything that you are, everything that you know, all of your education, all of your information, all of your personal value, all of your time, which is the stuff that your own life is made up of. Time. You have to give your time, your life in exchange for a failing currency. And that failing currency is what pimps you out and turns you against the only thing that has been fair to you in your whole life. You have been reneged on by everything and every person in your life. Your wife has failed you at some point or another. Your husband has failed you. Your children have failed you at one point or another. Your friends, your personal God has, you believe, some of you believe your personal God has failed you at certain points in your life. The only thing that has not failed you is Bitcoin. The only thing that has never broken a promise to you is Bitcoin. And you allow something else to make you turn your back on it. You're weak. That's what you are. You're weak. You're uneducated. You're ill-informed. And in the back of everything, you really don't know what Bitcoin is. You really don't, people. You think it's another trade, when in fact, it's the ultimate win. It's the ultimate landing spot on the grand universal monopoly board. When you land on Bitcoin, you don't move. But most of you don't see that. Most of you don't believe it. Even though you post positively on X about Bitcoin, even though you have, laser eyes and you have a Bitcoin handle, you don't fucking know what Bitcoin is. You still think of it in terms of fiat currency. You still think of it in terms of dollars. You still think of it in terms of how many more dollars is this thing going to make for me? You're only using Bitcoin as a stepping stone to get more dollars. You are not viewing Bitcoin as the ultimate point of freedom. You are in the prison of the fiat world, and you see Bitcoin as temporary freedom, so that you can use temporary freedom to go back to your prison of more fiat dollars. It's a stepping stone for most of you. It's a trade. It's a flip, even though you don't admit it deep down inside. Your only goal in life should be to convert your time into the only thing that has never failed you, the only thing on planet Earth right now that is fair, that is true, that is honorable, that every free amount of resources that you have should go there and stay there and never leave. But that's not how you think. You're just thinking of it as a pit stop. I see it in your posts. I see it in your comments. I see it in your replies. I see it in your terror, and I see it in your fear whenever the USD denominated price disappoints you. You're weak, you're uneducated, and you're ill-informed. I'm sorry, you don't know what Bitcoin is. You still don't. I've been with you for 3 cycles? This is the 3rd cycle now? We've been living through this from Bitcoin 3,800, and you still doubt? You still start to think like this? That someone buying and holding Bitcoin can be now bad? Suddenly bad? How? This is stupid. Sorry. Dumb. I know that there's a lot of dumbness out there. When it reaches a certain level, sometimes I just can't hold back. I gotta step up to the plate and speak my mind. Whether you believe what I say or not, I'm just internally compelled to do that. Someone was asking, do I think that strategy sees an all-time high ever again? That's like asking, will Bitcoin see an all-time high ever again? I think that's silly. Strategy is a leveraged bet on Bitcoin. Right? When Bitcoin's down 50%, strategy will be down 70%, 80%. That's what a leverage play on Bitcoin does. It's always worse performing than the underlying. Anyone who's shocked by that has a zero IQ when it comes to the financial world in this respect. A leveraged item will always underperform the underlying item. So strategy will always underperform Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down 40%. Strategy is down 70 something percent. That's fucking normal. But on the flip side, if Bitcoin is up 100%, strategy will be up 300% or 400%. It's bigger on the upside. Why is it always a leverage item is always bigger on the upside than the downside? Because the downside is limited to zero, you bozos. You can't go down bigger than you can go up. So the downward drop is always smaller than the upward rise in a leverage product. So when Bitcoin is down 40%, strategy will be down 70%. When Bitcoin is up 100%, strategy will be up 300% or 400%. That's just the way leverage products operate. So if you don't know anything about how leverage products operate, stay out of that cesspool, stay out of that world. And keep your comments to yourself, because your comments make you look stupid when you don't understand these basic things. I'm going to say it. Stop being so dumb. There's no excuse for being this dumb today. There's no excuse. You've got AI at your fingertips. There's no excuse for being this dumb. This is by Stefan Berger. What is the cause for the distraction with MSTR? It is exactly what I have always seen, what I've seen in the last 2 cycles we're experiencing now, is that people want an enemy for how they feel. They feel destroyed and disappointed by the US dollar telling them what Bitcoin is worth to them. And they don't like what the US dollar is telling them now. The US dollar is telling them that Bitcoin is worth 67,000. I'm telling you that Bitcoin is worth $8 million of Bitcoin, but the dollar is telling you it's worth $67,000 of Bitcoin, right? So they hate that. It makes them feel bad because maybe they bought it 115,000 or 110,000 or whatever, and now it's at 60,000, and they're looking for a scapegoat. That scapegoat will never be themselves. It'll always be pointed outward. They'll always point the scapegoat flashlight into someone else's eyes, never in their own eyes. They will never turn that scapegoat instrument of theirs onto themselves for any self-inquiry or self-discovery. They'll always point it to someone else and look for an enemy. Guys, strategy is not your enemy. We have far greater enemies than strategy. Michael Saylor is not Bitcoin's enemy. Oh my God. I'd say these are one of the only bright spots left is what strategy is doing, if you ask me. You place so much faith in the USD denominated price of Bitcoin, you should be on your knees bowing to strategy, because without strategy, the USD denominated price would be lower. This is a freaking fact. So it's just scapegoatism that's going on right now. That's what's going on. People feel hurt. They feel raped, in fact, and they want to point the finger to a raper. They want to vilify something, anything, even if it's stupid and retarded, just to make themselves feel better. Freaking ridiculous. Some people say, well, Oliver, he's using other people's money to buy Bitcoin. What? And so, wait a minute, let me get this straight. So companies can borrow money to buy everything from real estate to homes. BlackRock's been buying single-family homes for years. It can borrow money to buy real estate, homes, everything else under the sun. But somehow it's now bad to borrow money to buy Bitcoin? Treasury bonds, right? Treasury bonds yields, let's say a treasury bond is yielding 5%. A specific treasury bond is yielding 4.55%. Let's make the math easy for the low IQ here. So let's say a US treasury bond is yielding 5%. Now, 5% does not combat inflation and debasement of your fiat currency. So you're still losing purchasing power. But how can you possibly double that? You borrow money and you buy twice. So if you have $100 million to deploy into treasury bonds to earn 5%, you can borrow another $100 million. Now you've got $200 million, and now you're earning close to 10% on your funds, minus the costs of the loan. And if you can borrow cheaply, like many of these organizations do, they can get close to double, not quite double, but at 1.8 times the 5%. So, they can start earning 8.5%, 8% risk-free. Now, most people would consider that that's a smart move by this company. They've got free cash. They're borrowing money to leverage the cash to turn the 5% into 8%. That's considered smart. Or to borrow money to get more of an asset that gives their company value, that's considered smart. But somehow, strategy using an age-old practice of borrowing money to buy an asset, using that age-old process, that age-old wisdom in the business world for Bitcoin is now the worst thing for Bitcoin, is now retardation, according to this person. That is retarded, but it's not retarded to do that with treasuries or to buy gold that way or to buy homes or to buy land or real estate. That's not retarded. That's never been retarded because that's been done for decade after decade after decade after decade after decade. But somehow strategy doing that for Bitcoin is now bad for Bitcoin and retarded. Are you fucking stupid or not? Come on, guys. Come on. You're better than this. Just stop it. Just stop. I say just take a stand up and stop being dumb. Just say it to yourself. From this day, I'm going to stop being dumb. Stop it. And stop fucking getting distracted, people. All you got to do is ask yourself one question here, and I'm going to leave you right now with this. Do you think that Bitcoin is higher than today's price in late 2027. We just finished the first quarter of 2026. I am saying that all through 26 into late 2027, do you think Bitcoin is higher than it is today? Do you think Bitcoin is higher in 2028 than it is right now in April of 2026? If the answer is yes, shut the fuck up and just keep buying every single week of your life. Reward your 2028 self. Reward yourself. Ignore the fucking noise, people. Do you think Bitcoin is much higher in 2032? If you want to stretch it out there, then dedicate your life for the next 4 years to getting as much as you can so that by the time 2032 comes, you will be generationally okay, that your children's children's children will remember your name. The problem with most of you is that you pay too much attention to the now. And I know that has been a common theme in recent times. The power of now. Well, I am a proponent of that. I do believe that there is great power in the now. But I say, bring 2032 into your now. Now, I am here to tell you that as certain as night follows day, and we know that's fucking certain, right? As certain as night follows day, Bitcoin is astronomically higher in 2032 than it is today. So now bring 2032 into your consciousness right now and go to fucking work. Go to work now to make 2032 generationally important for yourself. Stop focusing on every little tiny wrinkle today, every little tiny concern, every little tiny problem that pops up, every little piece of FUD now. Guys, go back 5 years from now, go back 5 years ago and just go through, search 5 years ago at every Bitcoin concern 5 years ago, 10 years, or no, any worldwide concern 5 years ago. Does it matter now? None of it. Not a single concern is relevant today. In 2028, what you are scared about today won't fucking matter. It won't even exist. Stop being pulled around. Stop being jerked around. Stop being moved. Stand your fucking ground for once. Stand still. Be rooted. Be grounded in something. Be true to something for once in your life. Chucky says, without Staler and strategy, Bitcoin would be 50K right now. I believe that. I truly believe that. People think that, oh, Oliver, you're just a Sailor fanboy. I'm like, dude, you should be too. You should be sucking Michael Saylor's kneecaps if you own Bitcoin. And you're so tied to the USD denominated price. The dude single-handedly is accumulating more than all the ETFs combined. Like, come on, bozos. All I'm telling you guys, bring 2020, bring these 2 years into your now. Bring 2028 into the now in your consciousness. You know it's higher in 2028 than it is today. So, and just ignore everything else. You know it's higher in 2032 than it is today. Ignore everything else. You have nothing else in this world that is as certain as that. You can't have a finite supply item and a growing demand for it not make the value higher. It is mathematically impossible. You have the most uncertain thing that humans have ever had because it's maths. Nothing that has ever been given to you has ever had this level of certainty. It has always been uncertain. It has been certain for the few. It has been certain for the privileged. It has been certain for the 10 or 12 behind closed doors, controlling shit. It's been certain for them, but it's never been certain for you. For the first time in human existence, we, the masses, everyone has something that is certain. And it is certain as 1 + 1 = 2. It is rooted in math. It is rooted in the laws of the universe. You can't have a limited supply, not a limited supply, a finite supply item and a growing demand for the item not increase the value. And the demand for Bitcoin will never stop growing. Every new human being born is a Bitcoiner. And there's 250,000 newborn human. Net of all deaths, we have a net new growth in the human. Every day, 250,000 new human beings, net of all deaths, join the human race. Every single one of them is a Bitcoiner. The same way every single human being born today is an internet user. Every single human being born today is going to be a cell phone user. Every single human being born today is going to drive a car. Every single human being born today is going to wear clothes, going to eat food. Every single human being born today is going to be a fucking Bitcoiner. They're not going to be a gold buyer, but they're going to be a Bitcoiner, just like they're going to be an internet user. And if you don't believe me, if you think this is silly, then you're the silly one. Because if everyone's going to be an internet user, if you can agree that every single human being is going to be an internet user, then you have to agree that everyone's going to be a user of the internet of money. Bitcoin is the internet of money. The regular internet was the internet of information. And everyone's going to be an internet user who's born. Every human being is going to use the internet. And you think that the internet of money, far more important than the internet of information, you think the internet of money is not going to be used by every single human being? You don't. Come on, guys. For ever growing demand and a finite supply, its value will increase forever, beyond your life, beyond your children's lives, beyond their children's lives and their children's lives, and it will never, ever stop rising in value. Ever. This will never stop. And let me tell you one last thing. I promise you one last thing before, but this for real is the one last thing. If you remember anything that I've talked about tonight, try to remember this. You don't judge a growing thing, a rising thing, an expanding item. You don't judge it from the top down. Please stop being this novice. Novices judge everything from the crashes. They judge everything from the top down. They judge Bitcoin from 126 to 67,000. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's novice. That is ill-informed. That's ignorant. You judge it by the lows. So I'm going to leave you with a statement that I hope will stick in your mind. It's the lows, stupid. I'm going to repeat it again. It's the lows, stupid. It's the lows, stupid. You judge every growing thing by its lows. Where does it bottom out? You never judge it from the highs. That's the trap. Do you understand? That's the trap that will forever keep you from accumulating wealth with anything. You judge something by its lows. So let's quickly go over Bitcoin's lows. 0, that's the first low, right? $1, $13, $30, $180. I'm going over the historical lows. $180. All right. $1,200. $3,200. $15,600. Now, $61,000. Where's the next low? 400,000, 600,000. Where's the low after that? 1.5 million. If you were to connect all of those lows I said in a straight line, straight up from 0 to 1 to $13 to $180 to $1,200 to $3,200 to $15,600 to now $61,000. If you were to just connect the dots, you would say, "Oh my God, this is the best looking chart I have ever fucking seen in my life." It never goes down. So when you look at it correctly, as long as every low is higher than the next, shut up and just keep buying every single low. That's how you get wealthy. Instead of being scared. I'm scared, Oliver, because we're down from 126,000. That's dumb. You get wealthy by buying the lows. They're all higher. All of them. And let me tell you, they will be higher forever. Is the lows of the adoption of the cell phone higher forever? Yes. The lows have been higher forever, right? Have the lows for the adoption of electricity been higher forever? Yes, forever, right? Has the lows for the adoption of the television been higher forever? Yes, forever. Has the lows for Apple stock been higher forever? Yes. Google forever? Yes. Microsoft forever? Yes. Amazon forever? Yes. Gold forever? Yes. The lows for everything that is adopted by human beings are higher forever. Not just Bitcoin, everything is higher forever once human beings decide to adopt it. They're never lower. So when you understand this, the lows become your gift, not a reason to become like my friend here, Brennan, who's now calling one of the largest buyers of Bitcoin an enemy to Bitcoin because he's buying it? Come on. You're better than this. You're smarter than this. There's no reason today to be this dumb. Sorry. And I am sorry if my words come across harsh. But you know what? That's what some of you need. You don't need me candy coating. You get enough of that shit in your life. People candy coating shit for you. Wake the fuck up and stop being so gay and sissy-like. Life, Michael. I'm in the process of reading The Fountainhead, Ayn Rand, and You Are the True Howard work. I think you don't only teach us about Bitcoin, but also about mindset. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yes, it is. But Bitcoin is a mindset. But all it is where do I want to place the time? My time created something. Where do I put that? As most things have failed me. All it is a vault for my time. Time is the only thing of value that I really have. So I gave my time for something. But where I used to give my time for dollars, but that failed me. Now I give my time for Bitcoin. This never failed. TikTok, next block, never lied. Never went back on a promise. Never changed the rules on me. Never. Stays silent. Takes the flings and arrows. Takes the bad articles. TikTok next block. Takes the negative posts. Takes the hatred. TikTok next block. Takes the nation state attacks. The banning. TikTok next block. It's the ultimate fucking warrior. And if you can't get behind something like that, you're weak. Weak. Oh, man up, woman up, and go to work. Fast forward 2028 and 2032 into the now and go to work. I believe Bitcoin is $8 million in the 2030s, in the early 2030s. So you don't have to believe me, but I challenge you with this. What if I'm right? And you can buy $8 million today for $67,000. What if I'm right? What if you can buy $8 million for $67,000 today? I mean, Bitcoin does add a zero every cycle. It added the sixth digit to supersede 100 this cycle. The next digit is 1 million. That's 2028. The next cycle is another digit. That's 10 million. If Bitcoin continues to add a digit every 4 years to itself, we added 5 digits last cycle. We added 6 digits this cycle by crossing 100. If we continue, we add 7 digits in the 2028 cycle. That means between 2028 and 2032. And then we add another digit in 2032 or anytime after 2032. That's 10 million. I'm saying use $8 million as the price you fast forward to yourself now and go to work as if Bitcoin is 8 million today and that you're getting the deal of a lifetime at 67,000. That's the mindset you should have. I'm buying freaking $8 million of value for 67, and these bozos are giving it to me for these slips of bullshit pieces of paper? Really? I will take that trade every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. Wake up, people. Wake up and stop being so easily moved and get to work. Ciao for now. Boom.